Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Trey Kearney Show. And I am Trey Kearney, your favorite relationship expert. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to say welcome to everybody on Facebook. I want to say welcome to everybody on TikTok. And I want to say welcome to everybody on YouTube. My name is Trey Kearney. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. I am big on holding men and women accountable for their part in the breakdown of relationships. I believe that things happen in relationships and there's a breakdown long before the thing happens. Okay, I'll say that again. I believe that when cheating happens, there was a breakdown long before the cheating happened. And we have to be aware of that from both parts, from the woman's part and the men's part. And we have to be responsible for our part in the breakdown of the relationship. So tonight we're going to talk about cheating is a form of abuse. Some of y'all not gonna like me after tonight, but I'm okay with that because it's gonna help you heal, grow, and be a better person, right? And that's what we're here for. My job is to help you become the best, highest version of yourself. So I'm here for that tonight and every night. So we'll get into some in the news while we are waiting for other people to come in because we don't want people to miss the good parts of the program when we start to talk about why I believe cheating is a form of abuse and who the abusers are. So listen up, get a pen and a piece of paper because y'all know the coach is in and I'm gonna be teaching some things. So tap the screen if you are on TikTok, say hello in the comments. If you are on YouTube and Facebook, I can see your comments. Let me know where you're tuned in from, what city, what state, West Coast, East Coast. Let me know if you're a man or a woman. And we're gonna get started. So in the news, a lot of people are talking about, and I'm a relationship coach, a relationship expert. So a lot of people send me things on relationships, and I talk a lot about relationships. So these things that are in the news are in reference to relationships. First, I want to say we're praying for Jamie Foxx. I want to say that first. That doesn't have anything to do with relationships, but I do want to say we're praying for Jamie Foxx because I have things going on the internet where he is going through something. We don't know exactly what it is, but we pray for Jamie Foxx. We pray for his well-being. We pray that he gets well soon. We pray that he is 100%, 100% when he comes back. So Jamie, we're praying for you and we wish you well. You and your family. We pray for faith for your family. So in the news, so a woman named Ebony K. Williams, who is on a news channel, and she was doing an interview with Ayanla, and Ayanla asked her, would she date a bus driver? And she said that no, she would not date a bus driver. She would date the bus driver if he owned the bus. And a lot of people are going crazy over the internet because she said that. So my thing is we all have a preference and we all get to choose who we want to date. We all get to choose who we want to be around and all of those other things. And when people ask me would I date a bus driver? Yes, I would date a bus driver. That's just me. And I wasn't mad at her for saying that she would not date a bus driver. I'm not mad at her now. I was disappointed in her for saying that a bus driver's average, that she wouldn't date an average man, that she called bus drivers that average for their salary, which puts a whole lot of people in that category of average. And I don't believe any of us is average. I believe we're all extraordinary. We all have gifts. We all have talents. And I believe that sometimes we say things that we should not say. We don't mean what we're saying, but it comes off like that. I don't think she meant to be judgmental and condescending, but that's the way that it came off, to say that because a person makes a certain amount of money that they're average, and we don't know what they do behind the scenes as far as volunteer and as far as little league volunteer and as far as their church, as far as their outside interests beside being a bus driver. What you do for a living, I'll say this again, I'm gonna say this out loud. What you do for a living does not define who you are. It is just one title. It is just one title, right? So I'll say this, and maybe this will resonate with Ebony and everybody else who values somebody based on their job salary. I will say that we are all here for a purpose, right? And our purpose is to serve the people that God assigned to us through our gifts, talents, and experiences, right? Our purpose, all of our purposes, everybody's purpose here. Your purpose is to serve the people that have been assigned to you through your gifts, talents, and experiences, right? And it will come through assignment, right? So just say, for instance, this person who was a bus driver, They are to serve the people that God assigned to them through their gifts, talents, and experiences. So a bus driver's experience, right? Driving might be his talent. He might have wanted to be a race car driver, so he became a bus driver. So he liked to drive. So he's serving the people that God assigned to him through his gifts, talents, and experiences, which is we all feel successful for different things. So I don't want any man or woman who heard this woman say that a bus driver is average or that's average. I don't want anybody to let anybody pour that on you. If your passion is to be a teacher and the salary is $50,000 a year, you are not average. You teach our children. If your desire is to be a sanitation worker because you like to keep the city clean, we need you. So you are not average to us, because where would we be without sanitation workers? Right. So I don't ever want anybody to feel smaller than anybody else based on their salary or their education. We all didn't go to college. I didn't go to college. I don't have a PhD behind my name. I don't have a bachelor's degree or a master's. And I don't have the desire to have one. And I don't knock anybody who has one. But just because a person has a degree doesn't make them better than an electrician who doesn't have a degree, or it doesn't make them better than an entrepreneur who doesn't have a degree that's making just as much money or not. A lot of us are out here, and our level of success is the lives that we change. Does that make sense? So you have to operate on what your level of success is and not what somebody else says to you or pours into you to make you think that you are less than, because you are not at a level that they think you should be at. If your level of success is helping people, if your measure of success is, if I've helped one person today, I'm successful. If your measure of success is, I want to go over to a third world country that is underprivileged and I want to volunteer my time, if that's success to you, that is success to you. So we're going to leave that alone. We're going to wish Ebony well and understand that none of us is average. We are all extraordinary, extraordinary. We all have gifts, we all have talents, and we all have experiences, and we all have a purpose here on this planet, and that is to serve the people that God has assigned to you through your gifts, talents, and experiences. And whether that's being a bus driver or author, whether that's being a newscaster or a show host, whether that's being a baker or a barber. Okay, what a barber cut hair. We need you, a beautician. We need y'all. Y'all are not even nothing. Ain't nothing average about y'all. So that's what I wanted to say about that. And the next thing I want to talk about really quick before we go into the topic, I just wanted to give people a chance to come in before we go into the topic tonight. And the topic tonight is cheating is a form of abuse. And we're going to talk a little bit about and those different things and what cheating does to somebody. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, because maybe it's me, y'all tell me, because I'm not really into fashion, but the Met Gala came on, right? So I was just looking because I wanted to see what people were wearing. But I was disturbed by some of the stuff that they were wearing, one. Number two, I was disturbed by the masses, which usually the M is silent. Y'all know that I always say that. Don't follow the masses because the M is silent. But I was surprised by the masses of how they were saying all of these outfits were wonderful. And this person had on this outfit. It was so nice. I didn't think so. I was like, well, I don't think that's nice. I mean, I didn't really, and I won't name anybody because I don't want to blast anybody out, but there were most of the people who were on the red carpet. I was disappointed and not impressed. I don't know. Maybe it's me because I'm not really a fashionista. As y'all can see tonight, I had to throw on the thug gear because my hair ain't done. So I ain't want to come on here with my hair sticking up. But I like a little fashion every now and then. But the Met Gala was quite disappointing to me. And the last thing that is in the news, relationship wise, before we go, and then we're going to get right into the topic. The last thing that was in the news was on a gossip, I guess you call it a gossip blog. They were saying that the brat picked a white sperm donor because she said she didn't want to pick any of the black sperm donors because they look like Jiminy Cricket, and she didn't want. I guess she don't want her baby to look like Jiminy Cricket or a black man. I'm not sure. I'm just reporting what I heard and doing a little in the news with relationships. How do I feel about that? This is how I feel about that. Then her wife came on and try to defend her and say people don't know about sperm donors and only 2% are black. Y'all know a lot of men. Y'all know a lot of men. I'm gonna say that. But I'm gonna mind my business after this because I'm just saying this because this is stuff that people share with me. But wouldn't you be more concerned about the profile of the sperm donor, the DNA of the sperm color, not the color of the baby's skin or the texture of the baby's hair? Wouldn't or would you not gonna love your baby, whatever your baby look like? Because you don't know what child you're gonna get. You just, and this is for them. I'm gonna say this to them because you don't know what you're gonna get from your child on the inside. I have a child who's on the spectrum. So you so concerned about the outside, are you prepared to be parents of a child with special needs? And not that I'm wishing that on anybody. I'm just giving an example of you should be a little bit more concerned about other things in that DNA as far as mental illness. Are you concerned the child might get the DNA of a serial killer? DNA is real. DNA is real. I don't care how cute the baby is. Is you gonna wake up in the middle of the night with the baby standing over you like this? That's what you better be worried about. When the baby turned 14, what's in that baby's DNA is gonna be way more important than what that baby look like, right? Because we, as parents, we contribute things to our children. Things are hereditary. So that is what I would be more concerned about than Jiminy Cricket, the color of the baby eyes or the color of the baby hair or the texture of the skin. That's what I would be more concerned about. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into the Trey Kearney Show, and we just did In the News. So we did a little bit of relationship topics that are going on right now in the world. The world is crazy, but I'm okay with it because I mind my business. But since I'm on here and people ask me to do some current events and things like that, I will do that just to lighten up the mood. So let's get to the topic. Is cheating a form of abuse? And I want y'all to answer in the comments. Is cheating, would you consider cheating to be a form of abuse? And I'm going to first start with the woman who is the side chick, right? And then I'm going to get to the men. And this is what I say. I have a movement called #NoSideChicking. Somebody says self-abuse. I like that. I'm going to write that down too because I want to talk about that and I want to make sure I don't forget. I have a movement called #NoSideChicking where I encourage women to honor, guard, and respect each other's relationships in hopes of ending the infidelity epidemic. I'm going to say that for y'all one more time. I have a movement, #NoSideChicking, where I encourage women to honor, guard, and respect each other's relationships in hopes of ending the infidelity epidemic. So a lot of women think that because they're not the married one, that they're not responsible for what happens to another person. So this is what I say to the side chick when I've talked to side chicks, when I've interviewed side chicks, when I've come in contact with side chicks. I've said to them, and I want to say to every side chick that's listening tonight, or any woman that is thinking about entertaining somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance. And I say husband, boyfriend, or fiance. If this person is in a relationship, you can say whatever you want to say. You're still going to affect the person the same way if these two people have decided to commit to each other. If two people have decided to commit to each other and somebody steps out and betrays the person, whether there's a marriage license in play or not, that person will be affected the same way. Betrayal is betrayal, right? So what is betrayal? Let's do that. Betrayal is the violation of your trust by someone close to you. Let's talk about betrayal. Betrayal is the violation of your trust by someone close to you. So I say this to the woman who is a side chick or the woman who is thinking about being a side chick, who's thinking about entertaining that thought. Cheating is a form of abuse. And if you are knowingly, keyword, if you are knowingly sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance, you're an abuser. And if children are involved, you, my love, are a child abuser. Can I say that for y'all one more time? For the ladies in the back who may not have heard me. And I want this to be in your head the next time you see that lady husband, boyfriend, or fiance. I want this to be in your head the next time it comes to you and you think about entertaining, and when you see that red wedding ring on his finger. We're talking about people who are knowingly sleeping with other people's husbands, who are knowingly entertaining, who are knowingly joining in relationships with other people's husbands and boyfriends and fiancés. Cheating is a form of abuse. And if you are knowingly sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance, you're an abuser. And if children are involved, you're a child abuser, right? So let's talk about the devastation of infidelity, the devastation of cheating. So I want to say to the husbands, now that we address the side chick, and then we're going to get into what the effects of betrayal are, what the effects of cheating are. I want to say to the husbands, cheating is a form of abuse. And I'm talking to the husbands because most of the time this is what happens. It hurts. Yes, it absolutely does hurt. It's the most one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my life. Let me say this to the husbands. When your wife knows that you're cheating and you guys have come to terms and she has approached you, she has come to you and said, listen, I know something's going on. I found X, Y, Z, and X. And you say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. And you do it again, you're abusive. You have abusive behaviors, right? If your wife knows, if you think that your wife knows, if the conversation has come up because your behaviors have made your wife feel like something is going on and you continue to do those behaviors, you have abusive behaviors, right? And cheating is physically, mentally, and emotionally. Like a lot of people don't think that they're abusive because they don't put their hands on somebody. Come, somebody clap, snap, put a prayer hand in, do something. A lot of people think that they are not abusive because they don't put their hands on somebody. When you mentally and emotionally abuse somebody, sometimes you abuse people beyond repair. Sometimes you damage people beyond repair. Sometimes people don't bounce back from the betrayal, right? You make somebody not trust themselves, right? So I'm talking to the husbands right now. If you are cheating on your wife, and your house is being affected by it and you're not stopping and you don't leave, because I'm big on, if it's not working, just go. If it's not working, just go. I know it's hard and I know the kids is there and I talk about all this and all of that, why men don't leave. I know it's hard, but you are abusing somebody and you are damaging them, and you may damage them beyond repair. And when you come back to yourself and you move on with your life, you're not going to be able to forgive yourself. And I'm speaking from experience, right? So if you don't know me, if you don't know my story, let me tell you a little bit about my story really quickly while we're here talking about the husbands being cheaters, because men are not the only ones that cheat. So I don't want anybody to think that this is about bashing men or that men are the only ones that cheated. I got my platform. I started my platform many years ago on Periscope, probably about 15 or 16 years ago. And I got there by way of committing adultery. I cheated on my husband. And I'm clear on that. And I'm honest and I'm transparent. And I saw the devastation that infidelity causes families. And I saw the terrible trickle down that it causes families. I saw what it does to the person who's cheated on. I saw what it does to the children. I saw what it does to the extended family. It doesn't just affect the two people or the four people that are dealing with this. It affects generations. It changes the direction of the family. Because if you're with your spouse and y'all get married and you have children, you'll be at home with your children if you stay together and you're loyal and respectful to each other. And you and your husband and your children will grow together, and then your children will grow, leave the house, and they will have a safe space to come back to, and they will come back with their grandchildren. So what happens is you cheat, it disrupts the whole family, and when people get divorced on bad terms, the children get damaged, and a lot of things happen. And then there's step parents and step grandparents and half brothers and half sisters. And all of this affects the whole family dynamic. And we don't think about this. We don't think about the fact that because a person went outside, because I went outside of my relationship, my children have half brothers and half sisters. Well, my son does, my youngest son, because the man that I was with, he went and had other kids. So instead of it just being my husband and our children, we have this extended family that was not supposed to be that way. And I know that no child is a mistake. I know God don't make no mistakes, but I'm just telling you what happens when infidelity strikes a family. There is a devastating trickle down, and children are damaged. And when I say, if you are knowingly sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance, you're an abuser. And if children are involved, you're a child abuser. And when I say to the husband, if you are cheating on your wife and you have brought another person into the dynamic, and your children know about it, your children are experiencing this in the home because they don't have a choice, you are mentally, physically, and emotionally abusing them. And I'll talk about the children a little bit right now. The children get caught in the crossfire, they become depressed. And I've worked with several families with children. I have receipts and families who their children were in the mental hospital ward because their father went with another woman and wasn't showing up, it wasn't present. When you are not there for your children because you're laid up with some woman that you ain't supposed to be with, and you're supposed to be at little Mikey's basketball or football game, you are now showing your son abandonment, and he knows what's going on. Can I say something to the fathers and the mothers? These kids know what's going on. So your child is watching you pick somebody over them. This woman, this outside person, did the same with the woman who's cheating. This man, this outside man, is more important than us. You are abandoning us to go sleep around with some woman. You are abandoning us to fulfill your sexual desires. And these kids are cutting themselves. Look at your children's wrists and stuff. Like, there's signs. These children are depressed. These children are smoking and drinking alcohol. These children are suicidal. These children are running away from home. And these children are attacking the parent who was there with misplaced anger because they're thinking, Mom, what did you do to run Dad off? Or Dad, what did you do to run Mom off? And then the children, I wasn't even gonna go here this deep with the kids, but let me go here this deep with the kids. Then the children blame themselves for the breakdown of the relationship. It had to be something that I could do. It had to be something to do. It had to be something that I did. So I want the women to know who are sleeping with somebody's husband. Cheating is a form of abuse. And if you are knowingly sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance, you're a child abuser. You're an abuser. And if you're sleeping with them and they have children and it's taking that man away from his children, and you know, because the men tell you that they're supposed to be at little Johnny basketball game, you're a child abuser. And for women who say, I don't owe that woman anything, it's not about you owing her anything. It's about respect. It's about self-respect. It's about treating people the way that you would want to be treated. And I have encountered so many side chicks who have said this. And when you say this to me, I encourage you to get the help that you need. Somebody did it to me. Well, it wasn't her. You're punishing a woman because you have not gone someplace and healed for something that somebody else did to you. And that's not fair. You need to go get help to heal so you can make moral decisions. You can make decisions that are valuable to you, good decisions, because you have healed and you are not hurt people, because we don't want to hear that no more. We don't want to hear hurt people no more. We want to hear hurt people go get healed so they don't hurt people no more. That's the new phrase. Hurt people go get help so they could get healed so they don't hurt people no more. How about that? I know a lot of us have, as women and as men, but I'm speaking to the women right now. I know a lot of us as women have been hurt and betrayed by men in our younger years. Let me explain something to you. They didn't hurt you on purpose. They were immature, just like you was when you met a man at 24. You wasn't mature as you should. You ain't know what you didn't know, and you didn't know a lot. They didn't hurt you on purpose. The relationship broke down and y'all broke up because y'all weren't supposed to be together. And that's okay. So you can't go around punishing other people, including other men, for what happened to you with a man when you were 24 or 25 years old. Please go get some help to heal. And don't think that stealing, and I put that in quotation marks, quotes, don't think that stealing somebody else's man makes you better. Don't think that being with somebody else's husband is a one up on anybody, because it's a one down on you, because it's disrespectful for you. And I'm encouraging you again to go get help, because you are abusive. And just because that lady don't know your name, and just because that lady don't know what your face look like, when she is tossing and turning in her bed because you are laid up with her man, You are mentally and emotionally abusing this woman because you know the situation. We're not talking about women who don't know. You know exactly what it feels like to think that your man, your husband is dead on the side of the road. Let me tell the husbands. Let me go over to the husbands while this is on my mind. That is the most emotional abuse that you can inflict on a person that cares about you, a person that genuinely cares about you, a person that loves you, a person that is genuinely concerned about you, to leave them hanging for hours and not answering your phone and disappearing for 24 hours, 18 hours, 16 hours, to make that person think that physical harm has happened to you. I'm telling you, I've been there. I've been there thinking that calling hospitals. Let me tell y'all that. I've been calling hospital. I've been down that route. Like, did anybody check in? I've been on looking at the news in the middle of the night because back then it wasn't really that much social media. But I've been looking at the news. Was it a car accident on the parkway or did something happen? Only for you to pick your phone up and say, oh, my phone wasn't charged. Only for you to pick your phone up and pretend like it doesn't matter and you don't care. That causes, let me tell you, now we're going to go into what happens. What are the mental effects? Do you know that a lot of people who have suffered from betrayal and infidelity have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder? Do you know that they have, do you know they have triggers? Do you know they go through re-experiencing the feeling that they felt when they first found out you were cheating? Do you know how bad that is when you that feeling of you first finding out somebody cheating on you, betraying you, to have to relive that feeling over and over again is mentally exhausting and it causes anxiety, depression. And I don't know how many people been on here been cheated on before, but if you have, raise your hand. Hallelujah. Don't leave me out here on the skinny branch. It's it's emotionally abusive. And when I say it's physically abusive, I'm not saying that you put your hands on a person. When I mean physically abusive, I mean it affects your body physically. I was physically, and I'm going to talk, I was a mental prison. Yes, it's physically. Thank you for raising your hand, Theo. It's physically exhausted. Thank you for raising your hand. I see y'all on TikTok because it's physically abusive because when I was cheated on from the man that I cheated on my husband with. But, we'll talk about that another day because I just want y'all to know that I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I'm not judging. I used to be you. I was physically ill. I had just had our son, and he was about maybe 3 months old, maybe 4. And I was about a size 5, maybe a size 6. I'm 5'11" tall. I was about 125 pounds. My niece came to my house one day and looked at me and basically almost bust out in tears. And I'm looking at her like she crazy. She's like, oh my God, are you sick? And I'm like, well, why would you say that? I had not even realized that I had lost myself. I did not realize I was depressed. I did not realize I had PTSD from him disappearing and coming back into my life and leaving and coming back and doing. I did not realize I wasn't. Only thing that had me functioning was the fact that I had 3 children and they had to eat. And it was robotic. The kids got to eat, the house got to be cleaned, but I was empty and not present for my children. Yeah, I fed them, but I was not there. So when I say physically, I mean women lose weight, men too. People, let me say people. People lose weight, people lose hair, people get sick. Stress. Let me tell you this. Stress causes illness in your body. Stress speeds up illness in your body. So if your significant other is going through something already and you stressing them out, you are really killing them. And I mean that in the most sincere way. And that's when I say it's physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive. And let's talk about financially abusive. You are taking money off of your table to wine and dine this lady. $100 this night, $300 for a birthday gift for her, $700 for a night, 2 nights in a hotel. You are financially abusing your relationship. You are financially abusing your children and your wife. You are taking food off the table, college money off the table to entertain somebody you ain't got no business entertaining. You out here paying for bundles. You out here going on dinner dates, buying drinks. You out here paying for hotel rooms, and you're not even thinking mentally of how much this is adding up. But won't buy your son cleats. I'm gonna tell the truth and shame the devil. And then when you do decide to leave, you want to pay your child support, and I get it. But you've caused a situation, and now you don't want to give your child extra for their new football uniform or for their school clothes because you on child support for $98 a week. And now your children need extra stuff. But since you're entertaining another woman and you don't mind spending $200 or $300 on her, but you're gonna tell your children's mother, I'm not giving you no extra. And I'm saying this because sometimes we don't see because we think that we're doing something to the mother. It's like we doing something to the mother. No, you're doing something to your children. But you are right out on vacation with this woman and you just spent $2,500 to take her to Jamaica. But your kid wanted to go on a school trip for $300 and you told the mother no. Because I gave you $95 for the child support. Other expenses come up and you don't have a problem paying for bundles, eyelashes, makeup, trips, belt buckles, pocketbooks, sunglasses, fingernails for some other woman. Cheating is a form of abuse. Cheating is a form of abuse. And no judge should have to tell anybody to give a mother extra. Women got jobs. Tell her to get, women got jobs. When you're in the household with the child, things come up. Things come up, and you should be more concerned about your kid than how much you giving to that woman and what she gonna do with that money. But that's a whole nother show. So again, if you just tuned in, you tuned into the Trey Kearney Show, and I'm Trey Kearney, your favorite relationship expert. I'm glad to be here with you tonight. And we are talking about, is cheating a form of abuse? And if it is a form of abuse, what makes it a form of abuse? Cheating is a form of abuse physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is the worst form of betrayal because betrayal is the violation of your trust by someone close to you. Betrayal is bad because it's being stabbed in the back by a friend. Betrayal is bad because you didn't see it coming from somebody that you gave your all to, somebody you trusted. So for the fathers, you broke up with the mother, not the child. And if you are in the house with your children, dads, you are teaching your daughter. Let's talk about the daughters first. You are teaching your daughter that it's okay for a man to treat her that way. You are teaching your daughters that it is okay for her husband to come home 4 o'clock in the morning smelling like a whole nother house. You are teaching your daughters that it is okay for their mother to be in the bathroom crying. The kids hear their mother's crying. And then you are teaching your sons how to be liars and cheaters. Don't take your kids around your mistress. That's your dirt. You teach your children. Cheating is a form of abuse. And I'm going to keep saying that throughout this broadcast. You are abusing your children. You are training them to be liars, cheaters, and abusers. Because you are telling your child, don't tell your mother Becky was here. Don't tell your mother we went over my friend's house. So when that child goes home and the mother said, what did you do today? Well, I can't say we went over daddy's friend's house. So let me lie to my mother. Let me lie to my mother. Cheating is a form of abuse, abusive behavior. Abuse is causing somebody trauma. That's what abuse is. Abuse is causing somebody trauma, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You are mentally abusing somebody. You are tampering with their mind when you are dishonest and disloyal. You are making somebody, you are taking away their ability to trust themselves. You are taking away their ability, and you're taking away their ability to love somebody else. If you are unhappy in a situation, do all that you can do. Dot your I's and cross your T's. If you are not getting what you need from that person, then you need to leave. Or you need to ask that person to leave, right? And there's ways to do this. If you don't want to leave your house and that person doesn't want to leave the house, then you both sell the house. We both gonna go get different houses. We're gonna go to court, we're gonna talk to a judge. It's my house and it's your house. And we're gonna leave, we're gonna both sell this house, and we're both gonna get enough money to go and get our own places. Nobody has to betray a person or abuse a person in any way. And women that are sleeping with these men, you are abusive. You are causing another woman mental anguish. Again, just because she doesn't know your name or she hasn't seen your face does not mean that you are not affecting her life. And when I tell you it's coming back to find you, when I tell you every dog has his day, when I tell you you reap what you sow, and you may be the person, let me tell you, some people never bounce back from betrayal. You, my sister, who is the side chick, when you get with this man or you get with the next man and they betray you, you might be the one that does not bounce back. You may be the very one that does not bounce back. And let me tell you something, for the person that I was with, and I'm not throwing him under the bus or anything, because everything I ever did in my life was my decision. It was my choice. And I made some terrible choices. And I'm glad I was able to recover from the things that he put me through. Right. And I'm going to say this. I don't know if his wife would have recovered from the things that he put me through. So I'm not saying me cheating or anything saved her, or anything I did was right, because I was wrong as two left shoes for sleeping with somebody's husband. Wrong as two left shoes, wrong as wrong could be. But the things that I went through, everybody wouldn't bounce back from it. Everybody would not bounce back from the trauma that was involved in this dysfunctional relationship that we created. I'm saying I don't know if she would have bounced back. I wouldn't even want her to go through what he put me through. So I'm glad that from what I did to her, that I could be a buffer, that the things that I went through never happened to her, because it was brutal. It was brutal. And again, I put myself in that situation, so I don't blame him for the choices that I made. I'm just telling you, the level of things that went on was not good for my mental health, my physical health, my finances, or anything. I was depleted in all areas. And it was from my own choice. But I'm telling you, some people would not have bounced back from that. So mentally abusive, physically abusive, emotionally abusive, and financially abusive. And a double life is expensive as heck. You are taking money off of your children's table. Your children, even if you're not thinking about your wife, for the people who got kids, you are damaging your children, because your children are in the house with a mother who is not functioning properly. She is emotionally absent because she's so busy trying to figure out what you're doing and how she can make this work and why is this happening. And I don't want my kids to grow up in a single mother home. She can't even focus on the things that are important. I hope this is helping somebody. I just hope this is helping somebody, because I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just telling you that this does not have to happen. This does not have to happen. So to the women who are listening, the men who are listening right now, who are going through this, I want to tell you some of the signs of PTSD because you may be suffering from PTSD. And some of the signs are flashbacks, nightmares, repetitive and distressing images or sensations, physical sensations such as pain, swelling, feeling sick, or trembling, right? Avoidance and emotional numbing, trying to avoid being reminded of the trauma, disassociating yourself with people, isolating yourself with people. Many people with PTSD try to push memories of the event out of their mind, often distracting themselves with work or hobbies. These are just some of the signs. This can lead to the person becoming isolated and withdrawn. Oh, no, let me go back. Some people attempt to deal with their feelings by trying not to feel anything at all. This is known as emotional numbing. This make me so sad. This make me so sad. This can lead to the person becoming isolated and withdrawn, and they may also give up pursuing activities they used to enjoy. They also have feelings of always being on the edge. I'm definitely suffering from PTSD. I want to encourage any person who has gone through the devastation of betrayal to seek help. I really want you to seek help because you deserve it. Because you deserve to heal, number one. You deserve to love again, number two. Because so many women and men, but I'm speaking for the women tonight, so many women cut themselves off from the love that they deserve by saying, I'm never going through this again. And I don't want the men or the women to do that to themselves because they were betrayed by one or two people. I don't want you to do that to yourself again because you deserve to love and be loved the proper way. You deserve to be loved again the proper way. And don't cut yourself off to say, because what one man did to you or what one woman did to you, that I'm never going to get married again. I'm never going to get close to anybody again. That is unhealed talk. That is unhealed talk. And you deserve to be healed. You deserve to be whole. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to move on with your life. And this is, I saw this woman on one of my posts. She said she's never getting married again. And she told her kids to never get married from the experience that she had with their father. Ma'am, sir, that was your experience. Your children may run into a person that is never going to hurt them. Your children will run into somebody who is their soulmate. That is your experience. And as adults, as mothers and fathers, we have to stop pouring our trauma onto our children because the experience that we had is not going to be the experience that they had. You deserve to trust yourself again. Do you trust, and anybody on here who has been betrayed? A lot of people who have been betrayed say, I'm never going to trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. Has anybody said that? Is anybody feeling that way? I don't trust anybody. I'm never going to trust anybody again. Raise your hand if you feel like that or if you've ever said that. Because we're going to work through that right now because I'm a coach. And because thank y'all so much for the likes and the stars and the roses. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you've ever said, I'm never going to trust anybody again, or I don't trust anybody, go get help because you don't trust you. It's not that you don't trust anybody and you don't trust everybody. You don't trust the chooser. Deep down inside, you think that you make poor decisions because you chose one wrong person or you had a few people in your life that betrayed you. But this is the cycle of life, and that's just them. And as you grow and you go through these experiences, right? These experiences are not to mold you and shape you. They are to teach you and grow you. So as you go through these experiences and you get the help that you need, you become more resilient because people are going to hurt you in this life. Your kids going to betray you. Trust and believe me. Trust and believe me. I'm going through some things in my family right now. But when you work on yourself and you get the help that you need and you remove yourself from the equation of this doesn't have anything to do with me, and everything to do with the content of their character. It has nothing to do with me. You become resilient, right? And when people do crazy stuff, you know it's not you, and you're able to walk away. You won't stay and stick around for the abuse that these people are inflicting on people, because hurt people hurt people. What you're going to tell the person that's hurting you is, hurt people go get healed, so hurt people don't hurt people no more. But we have authority over our life. And we have to be smart enough to say, I'm not going to let this person that cheated on me have power over my life forever. Because when you make decisions based on what old boy did to you or old girl did to you, they have authority and they have power over you forever. I hope that somebody just understood what I said. When you make a decision based on, my ex hurt me and I'm never getting married again, or my ex hurt me and I'm never going to trust anybody again, they have power over you forever. Instead of you making decisions based on trusting yourself and trusting your instinct with people and looking at people, and I talked about this earlier, and seeing the fruit that they bear and vetting people the proper way, instead you're basing all your decisions on what this one person did to you. You are forever their puppet. The right man may come along who is supposed to be your soulmate. The right woman may come along who is supposed to be your queen. But you are saying, I ain't marrying, no, I'm never getting married again because women want to take everybody's money. No, that woman wanted to take your money. And that woman has power over you to never get with the person that you are supposed to be with, that is supposed to be loving on you, supporting you, being your rib, being your ride or die, rolling with you, being your biggest cheerleader, your comforter, your Eve. But you let that woman who wasn't ready, you let that woman who was a hurt person that hurt people continue to hurt you for the rest of your life, because you based every decision when it comes to relationships on this bad relationship that you had with this one person. That's not fair to you. You're not healed. You're still hurting. And this person should not still be hurting you after 2 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years. I know some people who still be talking about something that happened to them when they was 26. They 56 now. I'm like, why she still got control over you like that? You need to sit in a chair somewhere. You need to sit on somebody's couch, because you're missing out on such a wonderful woman that would love you for everything that you are, would love your personality. You let this person tarnish you to the point where you're talking about you never gonna get married again. For any man or any woman that said that, I need you to go get help. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. Reach out to me. We could do a I don't do free 15-minute consultations no more, because I don't really be taking people serious that want to do a free, but I'll do free 15-minute consultations just because I don't want anybody to be stuck in a phase of grief. And what I mean by stuck in a phase of grief is this: a breakup is the death of a relationship. And you go through the grieving process just like you lost someone to death. You go through the grieving process. But the difference with the death of a relationship and the physical death of a person, the death of a relationship is the person has taken access away from you. So they are making you feel rejected, as opposed to a person who has died. So you have to come to acceptance that this person is, I just don't have control over that, because this person is buried in the ground. They're gone. I can't breathe back by blood, breath in their body. I can't pray to God to wake them up. They are dead. So I have to go through the phases of grief. I have to go through the anger. I have to go through the denial, right? I have to go through the depression. But at some point I can get to acceptance because they died. Trying to get to acceptance of a person that you love that took their love away from you when you still love them, that's a pain like no other pain I ever felt in my life. I felt I had to pull myself together, because it was a worse pain than the death of a loved one. And I was like, whoa, I'm going through something here. And I got stuck in a phase of grief for a long time. I got stuck in anger for a long time. And I was the one like, I ain't never marrying. I ain't letting nobody close to me. And my girl Theo was on here. And we work together through my program called the Recovery Room. And we do a show together now called the Woman to Woman Show, where we talk about how we were stuck in these phases of grief and how we had to get out of them and how we had to get help. So a breakup is the death of a relationship. And most people can't get over it. And I know psychologists, psychiatrists, I hate to say this out loud outside of my with my clients, but I have to tell the people because I cannot base people's healing on making money. I know the reason why people can't heal. I look at Wendy Williams, right? And my heart, I grieve so bad for her because they trying to put all of this medication and psychedelic drugs and talking about this and stuff. Wendy Williams is suffering from broken heart syndrome from the death of a relationship. She is stuck between the phase of denial and depression. And until somebody comes to her and lets her know you are stuck in a phase of grief, she's not going to get any better. And I've been trying to reach out to people to talk to her because this don't and I have Graves' disease. I just recently found out they gave it a name, but I don't speak anything over my life. But anyway, I have a thyroid issue, hypothyroid. And stress, like I said, cheating is a form of abuse, physically, mentally, and emotionally, and it's showing up in her physically because the stress is advancing the disease in her body. And it's because she is stuck in a phase of grief. Come on, Jesus. We pray for Wendy Williams right now. We pray for Wendy Williams. Again, I only got 9 minutes, but anybody have any questions? When I work with you, I learned it more about me trusting myself. Yes. So again, I just encourage men and women, the cheating spouse, the cheating wife, which I was in that seat, and the pain that I caused my ex-husband. Let me tell you something. Cheating does not only affect the cheated. When you come to your senses, cheater, let me talk to the cheater because I was a cheater. Let me talk to the cheater right now of what is going to happen to you. It affects the cheater. You will be devastated when you come to your senses and think about what pain you have caused, the suffering that you have caused to your own children, the suffering you have caused to a person that you asked to marry you. You will be in a prison of guilt for a long time, and it will cause you stress. And what you do will come back to find you, and it will advance disease in your body. It will advance disease in your bones. It will affect you mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. So cheating just does not just affect the cheated. Oh, it catches up to the cheater. Trust me. Again, I tell you, I was devastated in every area at the bottom. $0, zero emotional intelligence, zero. My mental health was at zero, at a deficit. I was so stressed. I only weighed 125 pounds at 5 foot 11 inches tall with a newborn. And I was the cheater who then got cheated. So I know what I'm talking about from both sides of the fence. And when I came out and I talked about it, I had wives coming to me because I started a movement called #NoSideChicking to encourage women to honor, guard, and respect each other's relationships in hopes of ending the infidelity epidemic. And when I came to wives and I told them that I had a book, I have a book that I wrote. I have 2 books. I have It's Healing Time, Restoring Hope in Women After Infidelity. And I have a book, It's Healing Time, Men Hurt Too. When I told the wives, when I would speak at events and say I have a book, It's Healing Time, Restoring Hope in Women After Infidelity, before they heard me speak, they thought that I was the one that was cheated on. And when they came to me and was talking and they said, oh, I got to get your book, I was cheated on too. And I said, no, no, no. I cheated on my husband. And they were like, well, why'd you do that? Why would you do that to somebody? So it gave them clarity when I said to them, me cheating on my husband and hurting somebody's wife. And when I told them that the man I was with was married, they were like, well, why would you do that? And I said, it had nothing to do with them and everything to do with me. I wasn't in a good place. I didn't intentionally hurt that man's wife. I wasn't even thinking about her. I wasn't thinking about her. Clearly, I wasn't thinking about her because I wasn't thinking about myself. So they started to ask me questions, which made them follow me, and we formed a relationship because they could ask me questions about being a side chick, and they could ask me questions about also being cheated on. So it was full circle for me. So I was a safe space for them to know from both angles what it felt like. But I tell you, my cheating husband died in the midst of depression. Wow. When I tell you, if you are a cheating spouse right now, turn away, get yourself together. If you don't want to be there anymore, come up with a strategic plan so that you can live on your own. I'm not saying nobody should live and be punished for not wanting to be with somebody. And this is what I'm going to say too. Women are not mad because you left. Women are angry by how you left. Can I say that again? Women are not mad because you left. Women are hurt, frustrated, and angry by how you left. You left for somebody else. You left us distraught with no money in the bank. You left us out here on our own. You were our covering. You were our covering. All we know is dad and husband to be our covering. You left us out here in the wind and the storm and the rain. And if you leave right, because every relationship is not going to last. We get that. And if you leave right, you can still have a decent relationship with the mother of your children, if you have children, and you can still have a decent relationship with your spouse. And listen to this. Reconciliation is possible even if you don't have children. If you leave right, if you leave before the relationship is beyond repair, you could actually work your relationship out with your spouse if there were problems where sometimes separation shows you that this is my person. But if you damage that person and that relationship beyond repair for a quick fling of a woman that you ain't even gonna be with, because I'm telling you, 90% of the time you ain't gonna be with her. Because when you laying in next to her, you're gonna be thinking about your wife and your kids. And when you laying in next to her, you're gonna be thinking when she start to make demands on you because y'all together now, you're gonna be like, I could have just stayed with my wife. You know any men that I coach told me that? Trey. Because me and the fellas, they call me the man whisperer. That's a joke from behind backstage with the fellas. They said, Trey, I could have just stayed with my wife. I'm like, dude, I know. I was trying to tell you. The same things that your wife complaining about. Of course, your wife complaining because you was at old girl house till 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, when you go out and you don't come home at a decent hour, even if you hanging with your boys out at the bar, chilling or something at a cookout, and everybody start talking, from what she learned that you're capable of, she gonna stress you the hell out. Cause she know what you did to be with her. So when you come and say, I was with the guys, cause she heard you tell your wife that on the phone. So everything come out your mouth is a lie. You know how I know? Do you know how I know? Because I was in that situation. How do you even trust a person? How do you fellas? Any man that's with a woman right now, I want you, if you could put it in the chat. If not, put it in the chat later on, because this gonna be on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. Fellas and ladies, how do you trust a person wholeheartedly that showed you what they're capable of? You just really got this little, and I know me and my ex, I know we didn't really completely 100% trust each other because we know how we got together. We didn't completely 100% trust each other. We kind of sort of said, oh, I trust you to the end of times. But when that phone was off, or you came in late, or you did one of your trick moves like turn your phone over like you used to do when we was tricking your wife or your husband, tap the screen to help me out here. If I'm lying, I'm flying. So you like, wait a minute, did he just tell me that his phone was dead? And I know when he was with me, his phone wasn't dead. I'm telling you, how do you ever really trust the person that was cheating with you? How do you trust the man that cheats on his wife? How do you trust a woman that sleeps with people's husbands? How? You don't. You don't. Do you feel you would have the same mindset if everything would have turned out well between you and him? Yes, I feel like I would have had the same mindset because when things were going well with us, I still had this mindset. I still have this mindset. Things were just evolving in me. And I think we all supposed to have certain experiences because we'll share them. But I think I still would have the same mindset. Not trust at all. You cannot trust a person that showed you that they do dirt. No matter how much you want to trust them, you cannot trust a person who showed you that they do dirt. So we are at 9 o'clock. Again, I just want to say cheating is a form of abuse, ladies. And if you are knowingly sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance, you're an abuser. And if children are involved, you're a child abuser. Fellas, cheating is a form of abuse. And just because you don't put your hands on your woman does not mean that you are not abusive. If you are abusing her physically, mentally, emotionally, if you are cheating on her and she knows it and you won't stop, you are emotionally cheating on her. You are mentally abusing her. You are emotionally abusing her. You are physically abusing her because she can't eat, sleep, and her body is being affected by your behaviors. So I want y'all to think about that. And I want to ask you a question again. Do you think cheating is a form of abuse? And again, if things are not working out for you, I would say come up with a strategic plan. Try to work it out with your husband or your wife, your boo or your bae, your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Dot your I's, cross your T's, go to counseling, go to coaching, go to therapy. And if it's just not working out for you, I'm encouraging you to leave in a decent way. Leave decent and in order. Don't leave people in shambles and in pieces because it's coming back to find you. And everything that you do to your wife, fiance, girlfriend that have children that are watching, you are abusing your children. Everything you do to that mother, you're doing to that child. And if the children live with the father, everything that you do to that father, you're doing to that child. And if you were the one who cheated as a woman and you are outside of the house and you are causing that father friction of not seeing his kids, and you were the one that cheating, you're doing that to your children. And betrayal is hard. So anybody on here, if you are going through the devastation of betrayal, if you have lost a relationship that you were not ready to let go of, a breakup is the death of a relationship. And the worst thing to do is to get stuck in a phase of grief. If you need help, please reach out to me. I'm Trey at TreyKearney.com. TRAY at TRAYKEARNEY.com. My website is www.TreyKearney.com. My Instagram is TreyKearney.com. You can comment and you can DM me because I believe that we all deserve to heal and we all deserve to love again. And we should not let an experience mold us, but we should let it teach us and grow us so that we can be loved properly, so that we can set proper boundaries, so that we can have non-negotiables, so that we don't stay so long that we damage ourselves. Because a lot of times we inflict pain on ourselves when we know we should have left long ago. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for spending time with your favorite relationship expert. That's me. Thank you for tuning into the Trey Kearney Show. Please follow, friend, and like us on at New You Nation Network. Please go subscribe to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. And again, I love you. Good night and peace and blessings. Mwah.